Welcome back to the Workbench, where uncut and unedited you can watch me try to make things. And what I'm trying to make right now is a Wacky Races diorama, and we're getting close. Really, I think we're down now to basically just the fine details. We've pretty well got the whole scene set. I think it's, I don't know, you can let me know what you think down in the comments, but I think it's starting to look kind of like a scene out of the cartoon kind of jumped into a diorama here. That's kind of the idea, but we're down to the fine details, which basically includes the final painting of the background, which is what we're going to do today. I've got to drill the hole still for the leads for the LED that's in the flame of the Mean Machine. I think the compact pussycat is completely done. In fact, I brought this camera down a little bit so you get a little better view of the compact pussycat kind of floating off the ground. As you can see, I'm putting my finger underneath her. She's floating off the ground, and we got her shadow painted in down here. And then let me pull this off. You can see I just kind of made, we made that sprue stand for her to sit on, and then I painted it the same color as the shadow, which I think really does help it disappear. But that's, I think she's pretty well done. She gets one more coat of satin clear, and that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and just move her out of the way. Let me move some stuff around over here. And I'll move this out of the way too. Yeah, so all we have left now on the Mean Machine, I need to bake the smoke effect. So this is Sculpey clay that needs to yet be baked. I think I'm real close. Let me go ahead and move Dick and Muttley out of the way, which I'm getting this on the wheels. I need to clean that up. Let me move him out of the way also. Set him over here, and we can kind of see the smoke. So I'm finalizing the smoke on the back side. I think the smoke up front here is good. This still just needs a little bit of smoothing out, I think, the backside there. But I'll take care of that in between episodes. In fact, I'm going to do that this evening. I'm going to get it fully smoothed out. I'm definitely getting them baked tonight. I'm procrastinating. I'm not going to lie. I'm terrified that I'm going to put this in the oven and it's going to crack into 100,000 pieces. So hopefully that doesn't happen, because I don't want to do it again. But anyways, that's all I need to do there. I'll have to drill a hole into the base. Let me move the base out of the way. I'll drill a hole here for the leads from the Mean Machine's LED and its flame effect. And then what I'll do on the back side is I'll just carve in a groove to the back that those leads will ride through into behind the background, which is what I think we need to finish today. In fact, let me move the base somewhere. I'm running out of places to put things. I do not want it to fall. Okay, I think it's okay right there. That brings us to the background itself, which I've blocked in. So I went ahead and started painting this in between episodes yesterday. By the way, if you didn't get to see how we kind of essentially turned this into a paint by number, check the playlist down in the description. You can catch it from yesterday's episode, or get caught up on the entire build if you'd like. But if you guys with a keen eye probably notice something changed about this background. In fact, let me bring this back over again. Let's do something real quick. Let's set this back up because I want to show you the way I was thinking. Let me put this back right here like so. I have just a can of accelerant there holding it. Let's put the Mean Machine back in place. Goes there. Let's go ahead and put Penelope back in place. I should have done this before I moved them all and kind of explained to you what's changed. So now you can see basically the setup here. And again, you guys with a keen eye know yesterday we actually drew this out. And it's probably a little hard to see. Hopefully you can see it. But basically, this is the way it's been since the beginning, with this cliff face over here and then just kind of open hills over here. And when I went to put it back here, when I put it in place, it puts our cliff face over on this side and leaves everything open. So basically everything's just crowded to this side, including the background. See how it just kind of crowds to this side? So what I did, I took all the pieces that we use. Let me find something as an example, like this. So this used to be this way on the bottom. I flipped it around and then drew it the mirror image. I just used the back side of the board, and actually it's now the mirror image down here. And I created the full mirror image. Now we have our cliff side in the background over here in this open area. which just made more sense to me. Like, it was really bugging me the other way around. So I just went through and retraced it out. Basically did again what we did yesterday, and flipped it, or mirror flipped it, so that we have a better, to me, what's going to be a more balanced layout now. Anyways, let me go ahead and pull this back, and we'll get back to work on this background, because we actually have details we need to do. I'm just going to slide this whole thing right out of the way if I can. I'm trying to move some stuff. We'll bring this back in place. This lower camera angle might make it a little hard. Is there paint on? Oh no, there's splatters of paint on here. I might have to try to clean up. Now, the problem is, you're like, oh, just paint over it. Well, I started with this green, and I used the beige color. Oh, you know what? I think they're back behind me. That's okay. I used this beige color, and I slowly just added it to get down to almost this color here. Same thing with the blue. This is the blue color, and I just added white to make that, more white to make that, and then obviously the snow caps are white. And I did go ahead. Can I push that any further out of the way? There we go. I did go ahead. I was just going to freehand in the trees and things, but I decided to go ahead and cut them out also, and we'll just make little templates that we can put on here. Let me remember how. Oh, actually, these go over here. How did this go? I got to remember where everything goes. I think those went there. I know these go here like that. These went in the middle, like, I think like that. Yeah, like that. Yeah, because that's where it got cut. And I'll just draw in the tops there. And then these, I think, actually set more right in here. Kind of balance that out. Yeah, so now I can take these trees. I'm going to go ahead and just trace them in. And we'll just do, I think we're just going to do one. I'm not going to take up your time doing all of these, but I'll kind of show you my thoughts here as I can just trace. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Just rough trace these trees in here. I don't know if you guys can see, probably just seeing the back of my hand, aren't you? Let me see if I can move my hand out of the way. So just tracing these in like so, basically where they go, like that. And then, so now I'm going to take, I think I have a dark green. It's back here. Let me grab it. I'm going to use this dark green for the trees, and let's see how it looks. We can just leave those in place, because I'm going to have, oh, that goes there. Leave those in place. Let me move this out of the way too. Don't need that back there anymore. You can see the disaster that the workbench has become. It's quite the mess. With this lower angle, it gives a little better look at it. I don't know if I like that. But let's see if we can paint these trees in and see how it looks with this darker green. I think I'll just use this brush here. Yeah, let's just rough this in as best we can. Are you, again, just looking at the back of my hand? Let me see how I can, let's see. Let's go, put it over here like this, and then that'll get me, okay. I think this will be, now you can you see what I'm doing? Not really. This lower angle kind of makes it hard, doesn't it? Makes it hard to see. But it is, I'm working around here. It's not, you know what I'm gonna do? Why don't I just raise the camera? Let's just do that real quick. Up we go. Now you're gonna really see the mess that we're dealing with on the workbench. And then now let's angle down to about right there, and we'll zoom it in. All right, let's see if that helps a little bit as far as you being able to see what the heck I'm doing. Am I in the middle of the frame? Yeah, here. Is that a little better? I think so. Okay, now let's see if we can get these painted in. And it's just, these trees over here are just kind of smooth blobs almost, basically. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to kind of paint smooth blobs. Let's see, it starts here. Like so. Very cartoony. Very stylized trees here. Not too terribly hard to paint. The main thing I want to do is make sure and get these. I want to bring my green right up to it. Got to keep in mind, I can't really repaint these colors. Like the green, which by the way needs a second coat, that I can do because that's just the green straight out of the bottle. This down here, which really does need a second coat, now that I'm looking at it under the light. All the other colors I did give a second coat. I think I never did go back and do a second coat on this green. All these got 2 coats, so they're a little more opaque. I think it looks good. These trees will probably get 2 coats just to make sure they're nice and solid colors. Opaque colors, I should say, so that we don't have any of this MDF does soak in the paint. Now, these trees I'm painting on top of paint, so it's not as bad because we've got a layer of paint underneath it, so the MDF doesn't really soak it up as much. So it might not need a second coat. It might just need, actually, probably what it'll need is just kind of second touch-ups. There'll be spots where it's thin, so I'll just go in and kind of touch it up. But actually, it's covering pretty well. Again, because I think it's because we're painting over this blue paint that's already been painted, so it's not, the MDF isn't just sucking. MDF just sucks up paint. It just absorbs it. There's not much you can do about it. There is, you can prime the board first, which really does help. I did not do that. Let's do these over here. Maybe we'll do these ones together. Where did they go? They went here. So let's try to trace. These are a little bit of a different looking tree, so that could be fun to do together. And these parts here, oh, you have no idea what I'm talking about. These parts here don't actually go there. That's not part of the tree here and here. I just left that little strip in. In fact, I can turn it over and show you. I left this little strip here just to hold the trees together. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So now, because I did that, I can do this as one unit and have them nice and correctly spaced. Like this, and then I'll just trace it to here, to the trunk of the tree. Like this, and then over to this one. Like that, and then these trunks will just extend right here to, right there to that, the cliff, whatever we're calling this, the little cliff front thing. Okay, and then again, I'm just going to use the same green. And let's just kind of, these are they kind of are round, they have like round leaf sections. I don't know what to call it. Round tops of the tree, like so. And then it kind of just comes down into the trunk of the tree, which is also green. On these old cartoons, they only worked with so many colors. They kind of had limited. Now the backgrounds would kind of be done this way, where you would have a color that you would gradiate, do a gradient with, like what we're doing here. But you wouldn't necessarily see in these older cartoons like a green leaves and then a brown trunk or a different colored trunk of the tree. No, they would you just give the impression of a tree back here, because the more, it was all about time, doing things quickly. And so especially on the front, on the main characters or whatnot, they would use limited colors because obviously all these had to be hand painted. And really that didn't change, in my opinion. I mean, obviously the movies and things, so like Disney in the old days, they went all out, but they would spend years, until you got to the 80s, kind of, what do they call that? Like the dark ages of Disney. And then they kind of started doing the same thing where they were Xeroxing. They would literally take their scenes and whatnot and Xerox them or photocopy them and then make their changes. And that's why if you ever see, like, for example, like the Aristocats, I'm trying to think of some movies kind of from that era. They're very grainy and they get kind of rough looking, and it's because all the cells are Xeroxed. for speed, and which equals money, right? And the cartoons did the same thing, obviously, for the reasons they should have done that, right? Because they have to knock these things out quick. And that's why we found along the way that a lot of the colors that we're trying to choose to paint the Mean Machine and the Compact Pussycat, we would go back and look at pictures from the cartoon, and they were always different. Things were painted different colors. Just the nose cone alone of the Mean Machine was many different colors. So it's like, well, what color? Because I think it's maybe whoever was just painting that day, or whatever colors they happen to have on the shelf that day. I don't know why they couldn't get a consistent, or why they didn't have a consistent color map for the different characters. And I mean, even the characters, like the hat color of Dick Dastardly was multiple different things. I just find it very interesting. And I think it's just because of the speed they were doing things at, and the cost savings and all that kind of stuff to get these. I'm assuming, this is my, I'm just assuming all this, of course. We'll go ahead and do these. We'll get this background basically done up here while we're together. I don't know how much time we have. We're kind of running out of time, but I'm going to go ahead and get this one traced out. I will obviously finish tracing this, and then I will get it painted. I'm losing the point on my pencil. I will get this painted in between episodes. I also need to finish out the cliff face itself. It's got a little bit of detail I need to work into it, which I'll do in between episodes. And when we come back tomorrow, I think it's just because I'm going to probably try to drill the hole for the Mean Machine's LED leads. I'll do that in between episodes tomorrow also. So when we come back tomorrow, it might just be kind of the final details. You know what I also want to do in between episodes? I'm going to put together a complete sample board. So I'm going to put a piece of MDF. I'm going to paint it with some of this paint. I'm going to put some of our grass texture on it. I'm going to put some of our bushes on it. I'm going to put everything that we're doing on it, and then I'm going to spray it with the satin clear and see how it turns out. There, see, I had to finish those trees a little bit there, but see how that turns out. Like, if that makes sense. See if that works. Because what I'd love to do, the other thing I need to do is bake the smoke, and I'm going to paint the smoke also, and then I'll be able to satin clear that also. I'd love to give the whole thing just a coat of satin clear. I've got a phone call. Let me hang up on this phone call. I was like, what is my phone telling me? I had a phone call coming through. I use my cell phone as my face cam, so when a call comes through, I'm like, what is that? Okay. I'm going to paint that. I'm going to finish painting this. I'm going to do that test, and we'll take a look at it tomorrow together. I'm just going to put, literally, I've got some cutoffs of this. I'm going to put a big block of paint. I'm going to put the grass. I'm going to glue the grass down. I'm going to glue some of our bushes down. Just everything that could get hit with, if I was to spray a coat, I'm going to put a sample board together, spray it, and we'll take a look at that tomorrow and see how that turns out. Finish painting this up. We'll get back tomorrow. Oh, check the shorts tab. I did a YouTube short of where we were with this painted background. You can get a closer look at it. In fact, just check the shorts tab every morning if you're interested. I'm trying to put out shorts as a supplement to these videos to kind of give a closer look at what we were working on. Sometimes it's hard to see in this uncut format and whatnot. It's more just us trying to work together, but you can get a closer look in the shorts tab. Anyways, let me know those comments down below. Let me know what you think. Hit the like button. I think you need to hit the like button. You need to subscribe and ring the bell. You do all those things you do on YouTube, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.